I'm the coach. You're locked into the NFL on EA Sports. We're just about set to get started, and this ought to be a good one between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Mexico City Golden Eagles. With that, let's get down to Mexico City. Standing by for the call, here are Senor Gordon and Senor Davis.
From the oldest capital city in the Americas, founded in 1325, EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to Mexico City. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Mexico City Golden Eagles. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you talk about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
Here we go. The final week of the NFL season. Week 17 is underway. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So out come the Bucs now for their first drive. They're led onto the field by the former Cal Bear and the #1 overall pick in 2016, Jared Goff.
Okay, I thought there was something to build on in last week's game by his performance. I thought he played fairly well overall. The numbers won't knock your socks off. 2 touchdown passes and an interception. The bottom line, though, they lost.
Yeah.
How does he eliminate that one interception, continue to take care of the ball, and maybe increase the number of times he puts the ball in the end zone with a receiver?
Get that quarterback, D-line! Get that quarterback, D-line! Get that quarterback!
The former second-round pick, this is Joe Mixon. And he'll wind up with about 6, up past the 30 to the 31. The game's first play produces 6 yards, brings up second down. The numbers for Mixon last week, 17 carries, 72 yards.
They look like a team that really emphasized the running game in the offseason. They were going to build around it. Didn't matter if they were going to run gap scheme, power scheme, whatever. They've got a runner who finds yardage if you give him just a little bit of space.
And he'll be brought down right around the 37. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6.
I got you, son! I got you, son!
From the gun to give to Mixon. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, we know, you know better than I, he has the ability to take over a game. So what do you do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels, because if you crowd everyone to the line of scrimmage, if he breaks through, there's nothing but room to run.
Go, Mike, go, come on! 180! Hey, let's go.
They'll fake the handoff. Now Goff. Throwing deep for Galladay. And that'll be incomplete. Well, they took their shot all right, but it comes up empty, and it's 4th down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice, getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, You'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
Out is Rigoberto Sanchez on 4th down to punt this thing. Back deep, Antonio Brown. And last week in the loss, 5 punts as he gets this one away. A big kick there. We'll call it 56 yards on the punt. And the offense will come back out deep in their own territory.
Here we go. 18 Gators. And we got to get to the ball, team. We got to get to the ball.
First carry for Christian McCaffrey. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. On your screen now, here are the offensive starters. At wideout, Antonio Brown is certainly someone that the defense always has to account for.
Without a doubt, a true #1 receiver. It doesn't matter to him how defenses want to cover him. He sees it as a challenge and knows how to defeat them.
Hey, I'm coming now.
On 2nd down, McCaffrey. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll set up a 3rd down. Time for a look at our starters here on defense. This crew against the pass, issues at times, ranked number 24, Charles, in the NFL.
And when you're getting ready to face the #1 overall offense in the NFL, it does not matter where you rank defensively because you got your hands full. You don't know what you're going to face, but you know that that's a strong unit that you're getting ready for.
And the box with an extra defender in the secondary now on 3rd down. From the gun, Mendoza. Open man is Lastly. That's complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets this football out shy of the 30 to the 29.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Ready? 10 Lobo. 55. Right here. Ready.
On 1st down, this is McCaffrey. And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
Brings up 2nd and 12 at the 27.
Mendoza to throw on 2nd down. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he gets this down deep into Tampa Bay territory. A big play there on the catch and run. 54 yards. Excellent execution, and now they're set up nicely.
Are they ever? Red zone? I wonder what the next play call is going to be because after a big play like that, a lot of teams like to use the momentum to launch another one.
So on the other side of the field now, it's 1st and 10 as they've got things rolling on this drive. Now it's the fullback. This is Kyle Juszczyk. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. 11 more yards that go around, a 1st down as well.
I know a lot of times we like to put players in certain boxes. He does this and he does that. But this guy, he can do a little bit of everything. He's not just a lead blocker or a guy who protects the passer. Handing the ball, he might want to get out of the way.
Set. 90 Wolf. Too little, Cupcake. Get it.
Mendoza now. From the gun, he'll throw. And he slings one that's incomplete. Julian Edelman, the intended receiver, but it'll be 2nd and goal.
Defensively here, you're facing a top-5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL, so when they're that high power, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
This will be play number 8 on the drive. It's 3rd and goal. Looking to throw. Mendoza. And he's into the end zone for the receiving touchdown. Julian Edelman. Touchdown number 15 of the year. As his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. I'll let you do the analysis, partner, but with every touchdown pass this young quarterback throws and with the success that his team has had, I just continue to be more and more impressed.
Let's both do the analysis. Impressed. Aren't we both?
Yeah.
I mean, and why shouldn't we be? We've seen him improve throughout the year. We've seen him settle in now, and you can see the confidence of the team has grown. His confidence has grown. I think that everyone around this guy feels good about what they've seen, and it's also safe for him when he's driving home to turn on Sports Talk Radio. He's okay.
After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here comes the Tampa Bay offense now heading back out onto the field. They punted last time they had it. What steps, Charles, you think they have to take to make sure they don't do that again?
Well, let's just go to the football 101, the trade expression 101. Win first down. Make 5, 6, 7 yards on first down and make it a 2nd and 3, 2nd and manageable. Keep accumulating first downs that way. Keep moving the football. You don't want to get behind the sticks because then the defense has the advantage.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Credit the sack to Von Miller.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on 2nd down. Back to throw. Goff. In trouble here, and down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line.
So, Brandon, we sat in with a lot of coaches, and when they talk about things they want to accomplish offensively, I'm not sure that sack and sack are on their play sheet.
After the sack, they'll come up now 3rd and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
No run call here. They'll look to throw instead. That's complete to his tight end, Higbee. And he'll get it up to the 12-yard line here. They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up 4th down. So they wind up throwing it against your advice, but the result's still a 4th down.
Well, it did turn out to be a safe throw, and you know how sometimes coaches talk about using short passing game as a run? Essentially, that's what they did there. Now they can kick it away.
Now here's Rigoberto Sanchez as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. A well-hit ball there. 50 yards on the punt, 3 on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. And as this offense makes their way back out, NFC playoff race time, we give you a look at what's going on there. And these guys locked into that #1 seed. That's been a foregone conclusion for a while now. The question on everyone's mind, can they finish the regular season a perfect 16-0?
And it all comes back to philosophy of the organization, philosophy of the head coach, and, of course, the locker room itself. What do the players want to do? And I think what most teams would do in this situation is approach it, let's win every game, but let's be smart about doing it. So it doesn't mean that they're going to go all out if, indeed, they do need to rest a few people.
That'll wind up a gain of 27 on the catch and run.
Quarterbacks love slant routes because the receivers are breaking right into their line of vision, and receivers love them as well because they're getting the ball on the move and able to catch it and try and get upfield and gain additional yardage.
This quarterback now already at 100 yards passing in this first quarter. It's 1st and 10. 7 consonants, 1 vowel. Here's Juszczyk. And trying to push forward, but he is going to be stuffed up in the backfield.
15 line.
At the Buccaneers' 34-yard line.
5.
Now Mendoza looking to throw on 2nd down. And he's going to go down. They get to him back at the 40. Khalil Mack able to record his 5th sack of the season. A few issues here on the offensive line. Apparently, he got sacked 5 times last week. They got to him here in the first quarter.
And I would think that running the ball would be paramount here because it's a different team they're facing, but they watch the film as well. So they'll take many of those same principles and try and apply them in this game to see if they fixed what was wrong with them in the last game.
Now the throw on 3rd down, knocked away and incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? Zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. Oh, and what a play on special teams here. This is going to be down inside the 5, all the way down at the 2-yard line.
And he's got to be fired up about that effort. I don't think he could have walked down and placed it any better than where he ended up putting the football. That was excellent.
And the Buccaneers getting ready to go as they take the field. And they will begin with, should we call it, far from ideal starting field position, their own 2-yard line.
So what's your definition of ideal?
The 1-yard line on the other side of the field.
Yes, exactly right. So, yes, your definition is apropos in this case.
Watch the screen, watch the screen, watch the screen.
Here's Joe Mixon as they start on the ground. And he will double the space they have to work with as they take it from the 2 to the 4. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. A look there at the starters on the defensive side of the ball. They were terrific last week in the victory over Kansas City.
Have to admit, I was extremely impressed by what I saw. They ended up getting 4 sacks in the game, stayed in the face of the quarterback the entire time, made it difficult for him to step up and find receivers downfield.
And that's what they told us this week, that pressure on the QB is key. On 2nd down, here's Mixon. And he'll take this forward only up to about the 7. Give him 3 yards, and now they're left needing a conversion here on 3rd and 6. Throwing on 3rd, Goff. He finds his target, it's Schultz. And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down.
I think that call was made not so much to try and get the 1st down, although they would have taken it if they could have gotten it, but to give their punter a little bit of space and try and help out their defense.
Yeah, they got the safe completion on 3rd. Now here's Rigoberto Sanchez as he's on to punt for Tampa Bay. And he's getting a workout here in this first quarter as he gets it away. Now Brown. 12 yards on the return that time. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. So here's the home side to take over on offense. They've got a 7-0 lead in the football as well as they start out 1st and 10. Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 44. They start on the ground with McCaffrey, and he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
And touchdown! Jordan Lasley, his 9th touchdown of the season. And his guys get the quick strike touchdown.
Brandon, my man, just one sentence for that one. Clinic.
And that's what they've done. They lead the league in points per game this season, but it's been quick strike ability as we saw on that drive.
I think they're actually intimidating defenses because they're back on their heels right away, wondering where it's going to come from, how they're going to hit them. This group is well organized, well coached, and extremely confident in what they do.
Lutz to try to add the PAT. And it's good to make it 14-0. Pretty clean and simple there. Just 2 plays. The long pass resulting in the touchdown on play number 2. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. A run there on 1st down going nowhere as he stopped right at the 25. Demario Davis there on the stop.
All right, quick observation, Brandon, because early on in this game, I'm seeing linebackers playing with their noses close to the line of scrimmage.
And my guess is the wheels are turning on that other sideline. As a play caller, you're filing that away right now, aren't you?
Yeah, you're trying to find that opportunity later on.
Well, they had the run for no gain. Now they'll try again from the 25 on 2nd and 10. Now Joe Mixon. They find some open field here. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Joe Mixon, his 17th touchdown now on the season, as they are now on the board here in the first half. They were already down 2 scores early. They needed something to try to stem that tide, and that certainly qualifies. A big play to get them in the end zone.
It qualifies indeed because, let's face it, they don't get something done on this drive, turn it back over, this game could be 88 and out the gate early.
What? 88 and out the gate?
Yep.
What's that?
Well, listen, I used to hear my old man talk about it. Usually meant that thing's done.
Oh, well, now that they got the touchdown, it's not 88 and out the gate. We still got a good game going ahead of us. So here is the home side to take over on offense. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
And he gets this to the 35. Good for a gain of 5.
We always talk about, we always look for guys with fresh legs down the stretch of a long NFL season. Well, in Week 16, he was the AFC Player of the Week, and looks like he's going to be strong for Week 17 as well.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5.
Come on, D.
Now a run with McCaffrey. And some room to roam now. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. Now we're going to get a timeout. Appears we've got an injured Buccaneer. And in Week 17, let's hope this won't affect him for the playoffs. We'll step aside.
Set, ready? 10 Tucson. 54. Mike, 54. Hey, let's get that ball, D. Let's get that ball. Get it.
On the ground, McCaffrey. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7. The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Here's a 2nd and 7. And he'll find Lashley there. It's complete. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
Give him 3 yards there on the first down pickup.
Well, they're currently the best in the NFL in converting on 3rd down, so it was no surprise there that they picked that one up.
And they've done it in many different ways throughout the season, Charles. Picking it up, running it, throwing it, just effective on 3rd downs all year long. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. McCaffrey. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Works his way inside the 30 on a pickup of 4.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the 2nd level.
The offense on 3rd down, they've been good. 3 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. Back to throw. Mendoza. He gets it to Brown. Complete. And this is going to lead to another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Bucs 16.
Nice catch right there. Brings to mind the sentence, when in doubt, find your veterans.
He used to laugh back in the day when they would call guys like him crafty veterans. You get up in your 30s, you're still playing receiver, but you're around that long at that position, you're doing something right.
Just remember this. When he was young, he thought the crafty veteran was simply a guy who couldn't run anymore. Now he understands a little bit better.
Ready? 18 Gator. Check 59. Watch the curl. Watch the 22 Jet Bomber. 22 Jet Bomber. Check 26. There.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. And he's got it. And he will take this one in for a touchdown. Antonio Brown, his 9th touchdown of the season. And his guys find a way to stretch that lead.
And remember, partner, that's a rookie quarterback back there. Apparently, he's getting the hang of this NFL thing pretty quickly.
Had 3 touchdown passes. You're right, he looks comfortable. What are they doing? Anything in particular?
Well, they keep talking about making sure they're giving him plays that fit his talents and also maybe shrinking the playbook a little bit. They did tell us that. Bottom line, he's really good.
Lutz will look to add the extra point. It's good, and it is now 21-7. A good drive that time as they go 9 plays in all. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now the Buccaneer offense gets set to take over. And they had to wait a long time to get the football back. Probably not what you were hoping for when you got an offense that's humming.
Agreed. What you were looking for is the defense get the ball back pretty quickly, right? Hoping for a 3-and-out. So that didn't happen. You can't yell at your D for that. They've got to take care of their own business and reestablish themselves now that they're back on the field.
The drive will commence with a run by Mixon. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
The pass for negative yardage, obviously no good. Maybe he shouldn't have thrown it, or maybe he shouldn't have caught it.
And I think we were seeing it at the same time, weren't we? Maybe you let that one go, right? Because you can see the lost yardage about to develop, but that goes against every instinct of a receiver. They're taught to catch everything. So it's really hard to be mad at him and yell at him for trying to make that play.
The Bucs on third down. 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This is 3rd and 10. A shotgun snap for Goff. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Von Miller in there yet again. What else is new? He continues to rewrite the record book in single-season sacks.
He's the NFL sack leader coming into the game, and now that's 2 more that he's added to his total.
He wants some separation from spot 1 and 2 in that sack category. Now here's Rigoberto Sanchez, standing just outside his own goal line. Still on his feet. Good blocking there, nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Now we get a peek at the captain of this offense heading back out there. And how about the start so far, Charles? 3 first-half touchdown passes.
And that's how you generate excitement on a team. Keep your offense moving at a really high level. And it's also how you establish leadership, by playing that well. 3 touchdown passes, that's the way to lead.
Now he's just hoping for number 4. Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
You've always been very good about checking my math. Am I correct? That's the first time that it's been incomplete when they've thrown it to him?
Yes, he had caught every other ball coming his way.
So they feel like they've got something really good going there, and they're going to continue to go there until the defense makes an adjustment and takes it away.
Well, they finally made an adjustment there. We'll see if they can build on that stop. And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. 12 yards there and a first down. Of course, he was solid last week. AFC Offensive Player of the Week award. 2 touchdowns in that game.
Yeah, he's playing at a level right now where he's just breaking down defenses. Makes me remember when I was playing and my defensive back coach told me, listen, if you give up a touchdown pass, that's on me. I didn't coach you well enough. If you give up a second one, that's on you. And if there's a third one, I'm getting someone else in the game.
This quarterback now over 200 yards already in this first half. It's 1st and 10. Looking to throw. Mendoza. And that one taken in by Lashley. And he's going to get this inside the 30. 11 more on that one and another first down. So in the second quarter, he's already up over 100 yards receiving now.
And isn't 100 the magic number for a really good game for a receiver? So he got a chance to really shatter that and have a profound effect on this game.
Pretty good results here on the first down run as he takes this forward for about 6. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Brings up 2nd and 4 at the 24-yard line.
Now the fullback, Juszczyk. He is taken down at the 21 after a short gain of 2.
Normally when you see a short gain in the middle of a 3-4 defense, go ahead and pat the nose tackle on the back because he's holding things up and taking on extra blockers, which allows one of the inside linebackers to roam free and make the tackle.
And he's going to have a first down here as he gets this one to the 17-yard line. This offense #1 in the NFL in picking up first downs, and their run game got them another one there.
A really good stat to lead the league in, isn't it? Because you keep picking up first downs, sustaining drives, that means you're controlling the football, controlling the clock, and letting your defense rest on the sidelines.
Ready. 15, Lonnie. 15, Lonnie. Shoot.
Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Melvin Ingram racking up sack number 12 for him on the year.
Well, maybe that can give him a little bit of a pick-me-up, a little bit of a jolt. One of the few things has gone right defensively.
Because other than that, it's really been a first half to forget. And the job becomes twice as difficult now after the sack. It's 2nd and 20. Back to throw. Mendoza trying for Brown, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Deone Bucannon. And he brings it back to right around the 26-yard line. He's had a fantastic rookie season, made a lot of lovely throws, but that wasn't one of them.
Well, we got to give him one, don't we? I mean, with the year he's having, a lot easier for he and his teammates to accept that throw because for the most part, what they've seen, it's been pretty sensational.
Now a throw over the middle, and he's got it to start the drive. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Good work after the catch, gets him 15 and a first down. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
And he did. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair.
Well, with the kind of half he's had, I think we can forgive him that run, right? Not every run's going to be a big play, is it?
No, and also the blocking just wasn't there. No room to run.
Yeah, defensively, they got to find a way to build on that because he's eating them alive in the first half.
Well, they don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. On 2nd down now. Mixon, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Chalk that up as a 4-yard loss, and now it's 3rd down. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
We get slap happy up here sometimes.
I saw Von Miller in college at Texas A&M, and all I kept hearing about was his speed off the edge to the quarterback. But what impressed me, his balance and his ability to take on blocks and be a force in the run game, as we just saw there.
It'll be a 48-yard punt, 5 there on the return. Jerick McKinnon making his way back onto the field. We're in the 2nd quarter. They've got the lead. The lead, though, not so much because of the ground game, because of their air attack, Charles.
So what they're seeing so far is the possibility of things loosening up later in the ground game. Through the air first, maybe they have to start respecting that even more as the game goes on, and then there will be running lanes to find later.
Yeah, try to get him more involved here on this drive, maybe. Successful start to the drive, 17 yards, and moves the sticks. So quickly all the way up at the 40-yard line. Looking to throw. Mendoza. And they're not able to hook up there. Incomplete.
I know tight ends love this route because a lot of times they'll fake a block first and get a little bit of space and then come across the middle because in their mind, they're thinking catch the ball and then drop the hammer on the little guys in the secondary.
Unable to drop the hammer, he just dropped the pass. So 2nd down and 10. Once again, they'll go from the 40. 2nd and 10. On the crossing route, that's caught. Julian Edelman. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Now the offense going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. This quarterback now 12 of 17 through the air as he leads his guys up on 1st down. Back to throw. Mendoza. Oh, a scrap for the football, and he's going to come down with it. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. And a nice gain of 21 yards. A good grab there by the former Central Michigan man, Antonio Brown.
And he ate up some real estate on the catch too, didn't he? I think the most impressive part of it, though, if there's a chance for him to get the football, even though he was covered well, he somehow finds a way to get it.
Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. Two big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. Looking to throw. Mendoza under pressure. Down he goes. Sacked at the 10. And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout called. So with 4 seconds to go in the half, here's the field goal unit onto the field. From the left hash, a chip shot here. And Lutz's kick is good. And that will do it for this first half. So we've come upon halftime here in Week 17 as we go up to Orlando now and hand it over to Jonathan Coachman with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach.
All right, Brandon, thank you as always. Welcome into our final regular season edition of our Halftime Report. Playoff lives hanging in the balance as we take you around the NFL one final time. We'll start up at Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, and that game tied at 7 in the second quarter. From there, we head out west to the Golden State. Check on the Rams at home in L.A. And at the half, they are down to the visiting New York Giants. The former Super Bowl MVP, Nick Foles, has a touchdown pass. Finally, we head to the shores of Lake Erie. See what's going on with the Cleveland Browns. And they were winners in that one as they take care of the visiting Denver Broncos. Derrick Henry, a touchdown run in the victory. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a back-and-forth first half. Who can put it together in the second half? For the answer, we turn it back over to our broadcast team.
The final 2 quarters of the NFL regular season are upon us as the second half of Week 17 is underway. This is taken at his 4. And a good return. He's across the 35-yard line, right around the 36. So here is the home side to take over on offense. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. The completion good for 3, and it's second down.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, he couldn't turn it into much more.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 16 yards, a first down. And with that last play, he's now up over that 300-yard mark.
And in today's NFL, it almost feels routine. And I hate that when you talk about a 300-yard passing game. To me, 300 yards still signifies excellence, and he's achieved that in this performance.
This quarterback now over 300 yards now for the game, and time to improve on that as he's got a 1st and 10. Back to throw. Mendoza. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. That throw good for 4. It's second down.
Well, they were unable to make anything really big out of that, but it's not a bad idea to find your tight end and give him an easy completion and keep moving things forward. Almost his bread and butter. It's a good running back dive play.
He lost 4 there, and it's 3rd down.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
54. Watch QB drop. Watch QB drop.
Go, go.
And here's Mendoza to throw on 3rd down. Wide open receiver complete. And this is going to lead to another first down as the tackle's made at the Bucs 35.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. To throw is Mendoza, operating from the gun. And he's got McCaffrey open, complete. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
I think the best offenses love to get the ball to their running backs in open space because they have the ability to make people miss, and they also have the ability to run over people. And if you do that throughout the game, after a while, they might just run through some of those tackles and go a long way.
Well, we saw him shed a nice tackle on that play. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. And he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line. 2 yards, good enough for a first.
They're in a pretty good spot right now with a convincing lead. I think this is where they put on the boxing gloves, start to try and pound them into submission.
And the offensive line, they've controlled this game. I don't see why that trend would change now. And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
This is McCaffrey. So a nice job to break the 1 tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. Give him 4 on the ground there. They're now left with 3rd and 6.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Mendoza on 3rd down. Buying time to his left. And this is caught. It's Edelman. And he will take it in for the touchdown. Julian Edelman, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And his guys are going to add on to their lead.
So whatever happened to rookie quarterbacks taking time to adjust to life in the NFL? Because this guy looks like he's been doing it for about, 7 years? 4 touchdown passes? That's not something rookies are supposed to be doing with the ease in which he's doing it.
Lutz to try to add the PAT. And the lead is now 24. So that one a pretty time-consuming 10-play drive. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. With the Bucs offense making their way back out on the field, let's take a look at the playoff picture, Charles, coming into the weekend in the NFC. And right now, a lot to like on that screen. They've wrapped up the division, now currently sitting in the coveted number 2 spot. Of course, you want one. You'd love number 1, but if you can't have one, number 2 is pretty good.
I agree with you totally, and here's the other part, too. The really good teams, the really confident teams.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Von Miller getting him once again his 3rd sack of the afternoon. And that sack certainly just strengthening his candidacy for Defensive Player of the Year. You think he's got that one in the bag yet?
I'm not willing to vote quite yet just because I want to wait until the season's over, but he is really tracking towards it. Just look at all the great plays we've seen from him throughout the season. Strength plays that you referenced there, as well as agility plays. Yeah. They just have not found a way to block him consistently.
Now following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. Flag comes in. This might be a free play. And this one drops incomplete, but I think the defense jumped.
Offside defense.
And that one was relatively easy to see. I noticed that from up here.
Yeah, it doesn't take a whole lot, does it? Sometimes you get multiples. What I always love on these offsides is when each side points at the other. Hey, you did it. No, you did it. They deciphered that one correctly.
Now a toss left side into the hands of his tight end. And they work this well upfield across the 45. That one covers 24 yards. It's a first down.
Almost not fair. The big guy running the corner route, being able to lean and push and get to where he wants.
So how do you stop it?
A lot of times you want to have a linebacker on him, a bigger body guy who can handle him physically. But a lot of times that doesn't work as well because his quickness often wins the route.
Here we go. 180.
Hey, defense, let's go. Pick it up, D.
The draw play for Mixon. Absolutely nobody fooled there. He's going nowhere fast as he stopped behind the line of scrimmage.
But if these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they got to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
Cut. 180.
Check, 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 check.
Throwing on 2nd and 14. Goff, man open, it's Goodwin.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does.
Under pressure here, and down he goes. Sacked back at about the 43-yard line. Von Miller, who else? He's in there for his 4th sack of the afternoon.
Looks like another empty possession here, partner, and I don't think with 3 scores down in the 3rd quarter, they can truly afford any more the rest of the way.
No, especially the way their offense is sputtering. I think you're exactly right. They got to find some answers quickly. Now here's Rigoberto Sanchez. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. And problems spreading to the punt team now. This one goes all the way into the end zone on the fly, so that'll come back to the 20. So here is the home side to take over on offense. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were competent enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Again, they run. Again, it's McCaffrey. Up past the 25 to the 26, a gain of 5.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. The Bucs with an extra defender now in the secondary here on 3rd down.
Get it.
Mendoza now. From the gun, he'll throw. He'll get this to McCaffrey out of the backfield. And he will be very close to a first down, but I see the closed fist of the referee, and that means 4th down.
Whether you're playing West Coast offense or not, one of the maxims of the West Coast offense is you're either throwing a touchdown or a check down. In other words, look for the big shot, but be smart. I think they did exactly that on that play. They didn't get the first down, but they're taking care of the ball well.
Yeah, and being rightly cautious with that lead here in the 2nd half. They only needed a few inches, but still some anxious moments there, but they do convert on 4th. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. Another run, this time McCaffrey. And this defense not giving him anything there. Maybe a yard up to the 36.
The tackle by
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run.
brings up 2nd and 9.
They stay on the ground. McCaffrey again. Try to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. Officially no gain on the play, and they're left with a 3rd and 8.
It's now 3rd and 8. That's the end of the 3rd quarter with the score.
1 quarter remains here as the regular season starts to wind down. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. This offense so far on 3rd down, can't fault these numbers. 7 for 9 thus far. This is 3rd and 8. Looking to throw. Mendoza, nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Khalil Mack in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. Charles, you said earlier this defense is probably going to need to hold these guys right around 20 or under that if they were going to have a chance. It was evident pretty early on that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, they left 20 behind a long time ago in this game, didn't they? It looks like they're headed towards a big, big number. But 20 was the threshold because that kept them in the ball game and kept the pressure off of their own offense.
And for an offense that is struggling, this is not where you want to start from. Great punt.
Fantastic punt. And for all those who wonder, what do punters do during the course of practice each and every day? The best ones do what we just saw there. Work on positioning the football and helping their team.
On 1st down, Goff. And oh, it's a safety. Goff got buried in the end zone. He couldn't get rid of it. Things are just going from bad to worse now. It's a safety that does him in here, and that is one frustrated offensive unit.
They can't get out from under their own shadow right now. I mean, I know this is the NFL, but could you imagine a college crowd right now? Imagine what they'd be doing. They'd be chanting, "Start the bus," because they think this one is over.
So after that safety, now a free kick situation forthcoming as they punt it away from the 20. Fielded at the 20.
Good work, boys. Let's go. Let's go.
So here is the home side to take over on offense. And, Charles, we are in the midst of a very one-sided affair. I think this is where you and I have to fill a little bit. You want to regale us with old stories of your childhood in New Paltz, New York?
I don't think anyone wants to hear that, but this is a perfect time for us to start listing MVP candidates, right? Best teams we've seen so far this year, the best games that we've called thus far, how we anticipate the season unfolding. We can go in so many different directions. But the game certainly not taking us there.
Oh, I hear the remotes clicking off right now. Tackle made that time by B.J. Hill. Now Mendoza, off play action. Looking for Edelman, and he hits him. It's complete. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. The catch and run pays off for 29 yards. That's the number 2 receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage. And tell you what, a few more plays like that, he won't be number 2 for long.
Well, that's what often happens when you have competitors running around the field. These guys know where they stand in relationship to yardage, totals, numbers, the whole deal. And let's face it, all of them, they all want to be number 1.
So from Buccaneer territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line. They'll run it now with Juszczyk. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. Dante Hightower on the stop.
Good solid gain on 1st down, about what you'd expect from the big guy carrying the ball.
Down to lose 1.
Ready.
Here's McCaffrey. He'll be hit down at the 33, 5 yards on the play.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
They'll try and run for it. This is Juszczyk. And he's got the first as they'll bring him down at the 28-yard line. This is where, fourth quarter, you got the lead, you give it to the big guy. Defensively kind of sucks the will out of them, doesn't it? Because they don't want to tackle him right now this late in the game.
You say that with accusatory tones. I mean, but you're exactly right. I know it's not something we actually want to talk about, but as a defender, 4 quarters worth of trying to bring people down, 4 quarters worth of pounding, and now late in the game, here comes that big guy coming at you, and a lot of guys are wondering where they want to come up and make that tackle at this stage of the game.
Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8.
I think it's okay there. They didn't get a whole lot on that play, but it's nice to have a safety valve that's built like this guy. Big target, guy you can spot pretty easily. Put it on him when your other targets aren't open.
And he'll take it into the end zone for a touchdown. Christian McCaffrey, 26 yards, as his guys continue to pour it on. So another score there, and often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the 4th quarter. Lutz will look to add the extra point. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. So that drive 7 plays in length. And the last play on the drive, the touchdown run from Christian McCaffrey. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So out come the Bucs now. And the last time they had the football, they surrendered 2 points on the safety. They don't want to do that one again.
No, not at all. It's almost like a bases clearing double, isn't it? Give up a couple of runs.
Sure.
just messes things up for you offensively. But now they've got to go ahead, take it, set it aside, and move forward.
Now this one complete on the slant route. And he's upended at the 33 following a good pickup of 8.
Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, you often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for 2nd down, staying ahead of schedule.
7. First down, Tampa Bay.
Here we go. Right here, guys. Right.
Now Goff on first down. That'll be taken in there by Kenny Golladay. And they'll work this down to the 40-yard line, tackled there. The Bucs passing game looking good on this drive. It's a first down. That's just his 2nd catch of the game. They wanted to keep him silent. They have kept him silent.
Defensive football 101. Don't let the best player on offense beat you. Take him out of the game, and they've done a great job of doing that.
Goff now to throw. Through an opening, and there he goes. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown.
That's it, baby. We got 6.
Now remember, this is the #1 defense in the National Football League. There's a good example of why.
Shows that they set an aggressive tone, not just stopping the run, not just getting after the quarterback, but if the ball's in the air, they treat it like they're the receivers, and they went after that one and took it all the way.
Lutz to try to add the PAT. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away. This is taken about 7 yards deep, and no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now the Buccaneers offense gets ready to head back onto the field. And following the pick six, and they had decent field position in throwing that pick six, we'll see how they attack this drive.
And I think all you say to your guy is, listen, let's just take care of the football a little bit better. Make some better decisions on this drive, and they'll probably help him a little bit with maybe some really high percentage throws early to let him get settled back in.
But they told him, and they told us, they've got confidence. That's not a problem.
Yeah, not a problem at all. They just want to make sure they get things settled down a little bit for their offense and give their defense a little bit of a chance to rest.
And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
When you run a screen pass really well, you got to like the look of it because so many parts come together to make it work well. The offensive linemen, where they're faking people out, the back slipping out there, catching the football, then all of them going together as one unit downfield. A really nice pickup.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. The intended receiver that time, Adam Humphries. But it'll be second down. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Connection made here, Goff to Higbee. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face third down.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on second down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them a much better opportunity to convert on third down.
Second down pass play got him 8 yards. Now they've got a third and a couple remaining. That's complete to Meredith. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. 5 yards is the pickup there as that extends this drive. Goff now 12 of 15 throwing the ball, 80% so far, and it's 1st and 10. Now Goff. He gets it to Humphries. That throw good for 4. It's second down. 4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6.
Mike 51, Mike 51.
Again, Goff. Open man, Higbee, the tight end. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the red zone here at the 22-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down. Goff in the offense with a 1st and 10. And he's 5 for 6 now throwing the ball on this drive. That's complete to his tight end, Higbee. A gain of 6 there on first.
Now that's staying ahead of the chains. Really good pickup on first down, hitting the tight end there. Now it brings up a 2nd and manageable.
Just found a hole in that zone. To throw again on 2nd down. Goff completes this one to Meredith. That one good for the completion percentage, but no gain. It'll be 3rd down.
And that's when it's fun to play defense. When you're able to diagnose a play right from the beginning, get all your guys to the football, and spill the play, that's when you have a lot of fun playing on that side of the ball.
So it's Buccaneer football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Goff. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
Well, in the grand scheme of things, those 3 points likely not going to matter much, but I guess they get a little closer, a little more respectability.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been outplayed all game long, but like my mom used to tell me all the time before I went out, dress up a little bit, son. Make yourself respectable. And that's what they're doing here. They're just dressing up the final score.
This is fielded a couple yards deep. Breaks the tackle. He's got room to run. And he's into the clear. The 30. 10. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. And for them, this train, it just keeps rolling, doesn't it? Well on their way to yet another victory.
Yeah, it's almost a runaway, isn't it? And you just wonder how anyone could stop this. They got full momentum going, full confidence going. But it's not just their own confidence that is leading them. It's the lack of confidence against their opponents now because they see them coming and think, we've got no shot to beat this team.
Still an important piece of business to take care of, the extra point. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. So he takes it from 2 yards deep all the way down the field into the other end zone. Add it all up, a 102-yard return on the kickoff. So let's try this again. After the kick return TD, here's yet another kickoff. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here comes the Tampa Bay offense now heading back out onto the field. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that, and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team, and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
That catch good for 5. It's third down. Hard to believe his first catch of the game defensively. They bottled him up. That's why they're well on their way to victory.
Put your best cover guy on him and then change the coverages behind him throughout the game. Brackets, double, zone, man, you name it. Make sure he gets a lot of angles.
A big pickup there, 18 yards and a Buccaneer first. Offense for them has been at a premium. You wonder where plays like that have been all game long.
They're thinking the exact same thing themselves, but they're also looking forward now because now these plays are really for next week, trying to get some momentum going.
Mike goes tonight. 180.
From the 50, it's gone. Gets it to Meredith, complete. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
That one, a first down pickup of 8. Here's Goff. Gets this into the hands of the tight end, Higbee. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion. A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory. And the defensive guys are just saying, hey, put those points up every week. We'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they? It makes their job that much easier when they're scoring that many points. Allows them to play with a totally different style and a different flow.
So for the home team here, they've indeed run the table here on the regular season. They finish a perfect 16-0, joining the 07 Pats and the 72 Dolphins as the only teams to ever do so. And now it's off to the airport for a date with Customs and a long flight north to the U.S. Meanwhile, for Tampa Bay, this was basically just an exhibition game for them as they'd already clinched home field advantage. But more importantly, they'll get a week to rest as they've earned a first-round bye in this year's playoffs. That'll do it for us. I'm Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. Thanks to our entire crew as well. We'll talk to you next time. So long, everybody.
me while you wait for me, baby, I'll be done so soon. Phone gotta be off, each store got locks, I got some trusted shoes. 10K on the countertop, don't look so shocked, it's nothing new. Death comes in threes, wins come in twos, cash comes in ones. Throw it up, celebrate some news. I do a good job, pull up and pop out and pull off. Hat on and hood on, pedal to metal. When I put my foot on, I got to put on. I got a bad one, they wanna keep me. Oh, that's a good one. Pockets are dense, I think my bread is hard as a crouton. Receipts in my pocket don't come with a coupon. Okay, 30,000 in the pocket, no change. Okay, I might pass the ball, but this is no game. Okay, all my girls, they love and hate me the same. Okay, so when I die, I ain't gon' be from old age. Somebody gon' want revenge, somebody might want it now. Right pocket got euros, left pocket got pounds. Somebody gon' want revenge, somebody might want it now. Throw the ball with the right hand, catch with the left, touchdown. Touchdown, 8th floor, come down, hotel, lobby. Receptionist, what now? 11 a.m., check out. Might give her one foul, just to tell her it's one now. How come? I need rest, no recess in my schedule. Mama used to